Present.
Very good. First item is approval of the agenda. Everyone has a copy. All right. Motion would be in order to approve the agenda.
I make the motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
Chairperson Little,
Aye.
trustee Robinson, yes, trustee Abbott, trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is approval of the February and March special meeting minutes of 2/24/26 meeting and a 3/13 meeting. I believe we can act on both. Motion is in order.
I make the motion that we approve both minutes of the special meetings.
Do we have copies of those
Should be in the email.
in the email? Okay, all right. I second that motion.
Roll call.
Chair Little,
Yes?
trustee Robinson, yes, trustee Hatchard,
Yes.
trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is a financial report. If you're ready. Yes.
That's not what I wanted it to do. Come. Trying to make it so everyone can see this time.
You need to, sir, you can take this chair where you'll be able to sit the mic. Us.
All right. So we'll start where we always start with bank balances or your cash counts for February. That was $542,710.74. That is down compared to the prior month, and that is down about $58,000. Looking at our other most noteworthy assets due from federal government was $483,508.85. Yeah. How about that? We good? Yeah, no problem, no problem. So that is up compared to the prior month, and that is up roughly $113,000 from the prior month, and that is, it'll continue to climb until FTA starts paying us. Your due from state is this number here, the $634,789.72. That is also up. Oh, I'm sorry, that's the complete number, my bad. This one right here is the 151,280.87. So my apologies there. I grabbed the total and I wanted just this one. That is down compared to the prior month, and it is down approximately, rounded to a nice clean number, it's down $64,000. So that's nice. The state continues to pay. Not a whole lot to talk about in prepaid expenses. Those are behaving normally as they should. Um, Fuel inventory is up in the month of February. What tends to happen is, you'll have one month where you fill up, and then the next you'll just let it drain out, and then, or you'll use it up, and then you get one big fill. So that's what happened in February. Um, Nothing to really report in fixed assets, right? They're behaving normally. You didn't have any additions. So the only thing happening there is your monthly depreciation gets added to your accumulated totals. Moving on to the liabilities section here, accounts payable was 125,586. It's up a little bit from last month. That's up about, go down here. You're up about $12,000. Nothing crazy to report there. There's nothing like, there wasn't a huge addition, just a little bit more payables.
The $12,000, you were just referring to.
It's the difference here. So the 125 compared to last month, which was the 113. So that's up about 12. That's where that's coming from. That pretty much runs through what you needed to know with the balance sheet. So let's move along to.
Scroll down.
Oh, it's right in there. Perfect. Let's move along to the P&L. All right, here we are. So, let me switch here so I can get my comparisons ready. All right. Oh, wait. Jump down here. Here we go. There we go. All right, so your passenger fares is in total for the year from October through February, that's $75,774.09. So that is performing favorably with the prior year. You guys are up about $9,000 in your passenger fares from the last year. So from month to month, there's a little bit of volatility, but it's overall, it's working out better compared to the prior year for you. Local contributions are behind a bit compared to where they were at last year. So you can see here your local contributions are the $19,515.15. Last year at this time we were at 39, but then again, it just right now that just comes from taxes. So until it comes in, that's going to be what it's going to be. Moving along, we have our state of Michigan operating grants. That is $518,584. Comparing to the prior year, we are performing favorably there. We have about $65,000 more than we had in the prior year. Looking at our federal revenue here, we've got $595,583.35. That is also favorable to the prior year, and that favorable, we have about $35,950 more than we had in the prior year. So something to note here is that your profit and loss is always the accrual basis, right? So it's what you've earned, not necessarily what you've received. So that's why every month we're posting federal operating revenue. But until we get the ECHO drawdowns to keep coming in, that money's not actually making it into our bank account. So all these things added together come to our total income, which is $1,209,674.83. If you were to compare that to where you were at last year at this time, you're down $32,101. So while the federal and state revenue is performing favorably with the prior year, that the local tax revenue is down compared to where you were at, and then also there was a large payment for an insurance thing that's just obviously not there this year. Moving along, expenses. What I'll do here is I'll jump down to the bottom and we'll talk about the major categories. So your total expenses were $1,302,197.23, and that's not covering the depreciation section. We'll cover that in a bit. In terms of areas that changed drastically from, I shouldn't say drastically, but just changed noticeably from month to month. Labor and benefits. So labor and benefits in total was the 820,695.88 figure here in the total column over there. That is up about $20,000 compared to where it was last year. So wages are up a little bit. Something to note, another big change is going to be the fleet expenses. So the fleet expenses are at $263,647.95. Comparing that to last year, you're down about $10,000, and a lot of that comes from savings in repairs and maintenance. If you were to look at just the repairs and maintenance line, right now we're at the $40,895.49. Whereas last year that number was $120,000, and again that relates to a bus accident. So that's the big swing there. Moving along, get some other comparisons for you. Other ineligibles is down a good chunk. Let's get to that for you. So right now, other ineligible expenses, as you can see, is just the $241 for this year, whereas last year that figure was nearly $60,000. And again, that related to an MTP refund that you got. It was a retroactive refund, so that was back from when you guys were in the transit pool for your insurance. Yeah. And then lastly, what we'll talk about is the other expenses section. So right now that's sitting at a total of $203,509. Oh, whoops, sorry. I'm getting my columns confused again. I apologize. That's the $127,241. And this, we're seeing a lot of savings here. Depreciation is about $62,000 less than it was in the prior year. And then also, we don't have that big loss that we had to recognize related to the various incidents throughout 2024. You're saving about $140,000 because that was the loss that we recognized in fiscal year 2024. That covers all the big things for the financial statements. All the changes in your major revenues and expenses at this time. Are there any questions on them that I can answer? Yeah, what's up? Yes, it goes to the end of February. hmm Yes, it'll have March on there. Basically, oh, and Teresa can correct me if I'm wrong here, but I think what will happen is you'll see a much bigger uptick in your contracted services, and then there are still vendors that you'll hold on to, and VIA will reimburse you for, and then so what I would say is you'd see a big large uptick in the contracted services, and then your other expenses should fall.
I imagine if this helps answer your question as well, that the format will stay the same because we have these things on the fiscal year from earlier in the year. So we'll still have a line item for some things like bus maintenance, even though VIA will be doing the bus maintenance. Does that make sense? Does that answer your question?
Well, I'm just trying to envision,
Mm-hmm.
now that VIA is running the show, I'm just trying to figure out what accounting they're gonna be giving to us
think that we'll more or less determine what we need from them in terms of what FTA wants. But I would think other than what FTA asks, that we break down, that we just get a figure for an invoice to or some power.
Because the assumption that this board, that when we came in, contract was signed, they moved doing a lot of this.
Jack, would you like to answer that? Give me just a moment. Sorry, hold on. I think I gotta turn you up. Oh, no. All right, sorry, Jack, try again. Oh, I know what it is. No, we don't. Go ahead. Oliver can hear you and I can hear you. I'll just do this. Yeah. Hold on, guys. No, I didn't want to end the meeting. Come on. Okay, now try.
Can you hear me now? Okay, great. I was just saying, I don't want to, speak to how your financial reporting will look, but just in terms of, how the finances work with VIA, it's just that it's on.
I don't know why it won't go through the other speakers. We just do like a test.
Test.
It's probably as good as we can get it at the moment.
So you can't hear us.
It's just not coming through the big speakers.
Got it. Have you checked the sound output?
Yeah, I have. Sound output. I've gone back and forth to the options it's giving me, and it's not changing it. I do want to do the updates, so see if it's in the other computer system.
You get it.
Do the best I can.
Do the best I can.
They're gonna need some kind of breakdown.
Yeah, I don't know. It's fully up on our side and fully up on our side.
Just for reporting purposes. Yeah.
I asked the question as to this report that we now get from Hungerford, now that VIA is taking over as of April, what kind of report are we gonna be getting to distinguish the difference of what they're doing? Yeah, but we can't hear. Sounds like him and Oliver are talking.
Yeah, go ahead and try talking one more time, guys. It's not going to be perfect, but I put my phone over by them, so hopefully they can hear.
Not really, but you gotta talk loud.
Talk loud.
I can hear better, yeah.
I can't speak to what the financial, your own financial reporting will look like. That's totally up to you guys and how you want to do your financial reports. In terms of the relationship with Via, it will be quite straightforward in terms of you guys pay us on an hourly rate for our services, and then that hourly rate encompasses all the expenses that we make, and so we have our own kind of internal ways of doing that. But what you should probably only see on your sheet is the expense, that hourly rate, the aggregate of that hourly rate, and you should see a decrease in a lot of categories. Like you wouldn't see many costs for employment since we're employing most of the team, and so up to you guys and how you want to structure it. But in terms of Via's role in this, it'll just be a monthly invoice that you get that is the sum of the hours for that month.
So just for clarification, now you've answered my question is, monthly, you're going to submit us a voucher for an hourly rate showing what you do, what's due to you, correct? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, she's saying that, you said monthly, they're gonna send us an invoice of what's due to you.
And that's pretty much as I expected. We would be, the months that have already been recorded and continue to be a part of the report for the whole year. But on a monthly basis, we have their invoices by hours. And FGA may ask us for some of that information that we might have to ask them to provide. But other than that, it would be the items that we are still paying for, including the ones that they would reimburse us for. And so it would be sort of a combination. But
I guess the items that we are paying for, that's going to be broken down and it'll be basically looking the same as this.
Yes.
It's not changing.
Correct.
Okay.
Any other questions? All right. Anything else to add to our report, Ryan?
I think I'm all set.
You're all set, okay. All right, then we will close out of that guy.
You want your phone back?
You know what? If you want to turn the volume down or just hold on to it for now, because we're going to have a Via update. I'll take it. Okay. Let's see. There we go. All right, next thing we're looking at is current fare box through February. One thing that we noticed when we were looking through this is that there were some pretty big jumps and dips, but it kind of just looks like people are purchasing tokens and tickets that they would have purchased in a different month the previous year. So let's say typically they buy 1,000 tokens in March. This year they purchased it in April. So March looks like it's down, but if you look at the kind of average across everything, Farebox right now is really steady. One thing that I did think was interesting, we've had pretty heavy use of our tokens until January of this year. All of a sudden that took a really sharp drop, and instead people are buying the white and blue cards. I don't know if that's a trend that'll continue, but that was an interesting thing to see reflected. We will have an even better idea of, yeah,
The white and blue cards give you better access and more value.
I think they do too. They're easier to carry. They're pretty easy to buy. They can be used on either the fixed route or on demand. So, yeah, I think it's a good deal too. And there's a discount. So, yeah. Any questions about this?
So the total farebox revenue to date for 26 is 75,774.
I believe so.
Would you mind saying that one more? Did you say $75,774?
Yeah.
Yep, you got it.
And prior year, same time, it would have been 181.
No, this is for the entire fiscal year, for the upper one. Yeah.
Okay. Anybody? Any questions?
Okay. All right, with that. Next item on our agenda is the VIA update. And give this back to you all. Just a moment. Go ahead whenever you're ready.
I turn the lights down.
Okay. Yes. They were talking about us, yeah.
No, but what service were they talking about? They like so much better than before.
Which service were they talking about? The on-demand or the fixed route? Probably on-demand. Yeah, on-demand. Yeah, I want to echo all of that. I have had several passengers that are regular passengers who have come up to me at the front desk and been like, this service is amazing. This is always what we wanted. This is what we needed. Also, in terms of the app use, correct me if I'm wrong, Jack, but that number is so high compared to what you aimed for. He thought it was wrong. Skylar gave an estimate that was about 25%. He was like, no, that can't be right. That's way too high. Yeah, so it's been really good.
Any other questions?
Now that
Thank you, sir.
Whew. All right, next on our agenda is the financial plan. Grab my phone.
Do y'all have an opportunity to read the financial management procedures?
I've read through it, yes. Is this being created because of the now being via, or is it something that we always had to have?
Something we always have to have, we just have to make some changes in it to reflect what's going on now.
I do have a copy that just has the changes that were made, which we can certainly go through. If everyone's satisfied, though, we can move on to the resolution.
Why don't you just kind of go through what the changes were? Go through what the changes were so they can see.
All right, I need the comment copy. Didn't bring out the comments.
The important ones had to do with what was referenced in the letter, and it was part of the request from FTA about making sure that the policies and procedures showed the separation of duties that they required and was adjusted in terms of how we're actually doing, who's doing echo and what the procedure is. Those were the main.
Yeah. We did take the opportunity to make some additional changes just because we've had some obvious structural changes. We no longer have an office manager. We no longer have, forgetting what Nick was listed on this, but basically Nick and Gaynell and Deshara are no longer with the agency, so it doesn't make sense to have those positions listed in the financial management procedures. So instead, we divided everything up between our consultants, including our current accountants, the compliance manager, AKA Oliver, our grants and procurement manager, which is Mark Epps, and then the executive director role. We also referred to the finance team instead of the finance department. We felt that was more accurate to the way things function. We also changed some language instead of a comparison to the previous year, which we can always get, but the month-to-month budget, like we presented to you this month, we thought is something that's more realistic to put together every single month to give you guys. Finance directors, labeled accountants, occasionally compliance manager. I'm trying to move down to things that were bigger changes. We took out the union contract mention because we no longer have a union contract. I think this one was important. So expenditures are approved by Takata Board of Trustees during monthly review of financial reports. Invoices from vendors are going to be sent to the accounting consultants or assigned staff for processing, reviewed by the executive director, and then submitted to the grants and procurement manager for payment. Most of the payments are kind of automatic, but whenever something needs to, someone has to click send, we thought that would add that extra control. Let's see. Similarly, transfers are monitored by the accounting consultants and the grants and procurement manager. They then notify the executive director or a designee. And then we also have the accounting consultants listed as backup to the grant manager for their roles in this section if necessary. That way, if Mark's on vacation, we're still covered. We removed this section in the financial plan. We've never had a 5-year financial plan. Occasionally, we do several years. It's probably a good practice to do it, but since we haven't done it, and usually when we get dinged for compliance, it's because we're not following our own rules. So instead of promising we will do this, we decided to, yeah. Yeah.
Sounds like a marriage.
All right, what else? Some additional language about the state of Michigan and VIA. The accounts payable changed a lot. This was a section where we noticed that there were so many staffing changes, or things just practically weren't working the way that they were written, so we changed it. In this case, the executive director and grants procurement manager are going to create a purchase request. The state of Michigan's My Deal contracts are going to be looked at before we go anywhere else. After receiving an invoice, the invoice will be emailed to Takata at bill.com for processing by the accountants. The executive director matches the purchase order to the invoice and signed receiving report and checks for accuracy and or duplication, and approves the invoice. The invoice is then sent for final approval by the grant and procurement manager. Again, this is in there as an additional control. There are problems that could come up if you have someone who is doing all of this, right? So to make sure I don't steal any money, Mark's gonna make sure that everything feels like it's above board. And vice versa, right? Because we're both looking at it. Otherwise, our accountants are recording the invoices in QuickBooks in accordance with the GAAP. Director will submit an accounts payable list and an accounts payable unpaid list to the board for approval at the monthly meeting. Payments requiring physical checks are created by Takata's staff /consultant/bill, kind of as sees fit, whether it's an automatic payment, someone has to physically go in, or someone has to physically write it. And they're sent out that same day. Echo, we made some changes as well. Instead of finance director, we put in the compliance manager. Supported by additional finance team for the Echo drawdowns. Really, we all kind of look at these things together on a regular basis. We also put in an authorized signatory instead of putting a very specific title or person. Then the grants and procurement manager will send the form to Echo, FTA for initial approval. This is the sort of long process that we have right now. And I think those are the really, really big changes. Of a jump. We also put in for record retention, the destruction of any federal award records has to be approved by the executive director or the Takata board if no director is available. Farebox, we're still working out a little bit of the overall process with VIA on a practical basis, but generally it's going to be the same. Assigned personnel or consultant is going to receive the front desk logs for the Farebox each Monday, and then it says what they need to be on those in order to complete accounting correctly.
My bad, I have hung for striking just because it should be a general policy, not just the name of someone. But they've been doing a good job for us. It's not being paid against them.
Yes.
No, it's-
And then after that, it's just the operating assistance project attachment and the Echo worksheet, which is much prettier in the PDF. But those were already there. Those aren't changes at all.
Any questions, anyone? Okay. We will be submitting that with the cover letter to address many of the concerns that FTA raised. Okay, item next.
Well, we still need to do the resolution to approve the management procedures is what's next on the list.
We all have that resolution.
This is the resolution here.
This one, the agenda, right? That's the resolution, the first one.
Correct.
Yeah. And I'm making a resolution for the.
Oh! Gotcha. Motion made by Virgil Hatcher.
I thought you were trying to read something else.
No.
Would you like to have a written copy of it?
I'll have a copy of it.
Oh, you don't have a copy?
I do. I didn't want to print out too many in case changes are made, so this is the copy I intended to have us sign.
Well, don't go back to me, you got that.
It's okay, you just still have it with you.
I agree.
This is what we're voting on, this is what we're saying. Okay, motion is on.
So we need to submit this.
All right, is there a second?
Chair Little,
Yes?
Chair Robinson, yes. Chair Hatchard, Chair Jackson.
Yes.
Trustee.
Okay, next on the agenda is the designation of signature authority letter and the resolution of designation of signature authority.
And this is,
We've had discussion about this before, right?
Yes,
This was the finance.
We have.
Okay.
FTA asked us to put it in a specific format.
Motion to ignore?
To ignore it?
no,
I make a motion to go out for the resolution for the signature authority letter. Second.
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Hatchard, Trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Great.
Okay, next item on the agenda is authorizing the resolution from the FDA in compliance with Circular 9030.1EP.
I have no idea what this is.
She's gonna make sure there's a lot in there.
Yep.
See it?
All right.
Okay, does he want to give him an overview of that?
So this is another item that we needed to update for FTA, and they require it to be in a specific format. Okay. I think it's probably best if I just give it a quick read for you guys. So, resolution authorizing the filing of applications with the Federal Transit Administration and Operating Administration of the United States Department of Transportation for federal transportation assistance authorized by 49 U.S.C. Chapter 53, Title 23, United States Code or other federal statutes administered by the Federal Transit Administration. Whereas the Federal Transit Administration has been delegated authority to award federal financial assistance for transportation project, whereas the grant or cooperative agreement for federal financial assistance will impose certain obligations upon the applicant and may require the applicant to provide the local share of the project cost, whereas the applicant has or will provide all annual certifications and assurances to the Federal Transit Administration required for the project. Now therefore be it resolved by Takata Board of Directors that the Executive Director, interim or otherwise, and Takata's Board Chair, in the event the Executive Director is unavailable, are authorized to execute and file an application for federal assistance on behalf of Takata with the FTA for federal assistance authorized by 49 U.S.C. Chapter 53, Title 23, yada, 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 yada. I'm going to jump down to the next one. Basically, it's saying we have the ability to go into these systems and sign documents. Yep. All right, so looking at the second one, that the Executive Director, interim or otherwise, and Takata's Board Chair, in the event the Executive Director is unavailable, are authorized to execute and file with its annual applications the annual certifications, assurances, and other documents the Federal Transportation Administration requires before awarding the federal assistance grant or cooperative agreement. That the Executive Director, interim or otherwise, and Takata's Board Chair, in the event the Executive Director is unavailable, are authorized to execute grant and cooperative agreements with the FTA on behalf of Twin Cities Area Transportation Authority. The undersigned duly qualified Executive Director, interim or otherwise, and Takata's Board Chair, in the event the Executive Director is unavailable, acting on behalf of Takata, certifies that the foregoing is true and correct. Copy of a resolution adopted at a legally convened meeting of the Takata Board, held March 31st, 2026.
Okay, motion is in order.
Make a motion for authorizing a resolution for the FDA.
Chair Little,
Okay, aye.
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Hatchard,
Yes.
Trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Okay. Resolution to approve the vendor and contractor listing.
I feel like we skipped something.
That's clear to me already. Just, relations when I'm in the cloud, but, I'm here, we got a copy of it.
Great. Did any of you have any concerns about how these things were distributed?
When you say distributed, what do you mean by that?
So everything that's in the green section is going to be reimbursed by VIA to Takata. Everything that's in the red section is what Takata is going to need to pay for going forward of sort of these vendors and contractors. So really the big ones are IT, so we can maintain our historic archives, email, things like that. The WNDU lease, we don't think we're gonna need it. We've paid for it one more time, just in case, but VIA has their own system that they use. The security cameras in the vehicles are gonna be paid by VIA, so we don't need to pay Angel Tracks, or I think, is it REI? No, REI, someone does need to pay, but we have two different types of cameras in the vehicles in the past. We don't need to pay them anymore. Accounting, our annual auditor, and then anything from the A&E firm, if we do anything with the A&E firm, would be us. I think actually there might be two more. Oh yeah, PC Trans, if we want to pay for it, that would be on us. New vehicles, Takata, aka federal funded, and Oliver.
And none of this is etched in stone over time as we move through situations change, we may change because, for instance, PC Trans has been reporting, I believe, our activity up to now and for at
Yep.
least a period of time to make the comparison even, but once VIA's system in place is supposed to replace the information, where we can rely on that there being a need to keep both.
Correct.
Motion in order?
Motion in order?
I make a motion to approve the vendor and the contract listing.
Is there a second?
Second.
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Hatchard,
Yes.
Trustee Robinson, yes.
Okay, next item on the agenda is resolution to approve the organizational chart, chart itself. Everyone has it. Any questions or anything?
I got a question
Sure.
in regards to, these are all going to be operated and managed by VIA?
No, it's just the center box that says operations. That box and then maintenance, dispatch, bus operators, that is all VIA. Accounting, legal, compliance, grants management, that's all still our responsibility.
Motion is in order.
Motion, man?
Yes.
Resolution to approve the organizational chart and organizational chart itself. Second.
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Hatchard,
Yes.
Trustee Jackson.
Yes.
Great. All right, next,
Next item is,
updated opinion of council letter.
I believe everyone has seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. And it basically, I believe, provides what FTA is requesting from us. On the second page of that letter, it says, we have that. A motion will be in order to accept.
Resolution to approve updated finance projection plans. Yes.
We're on opinion.
Opinion of council.
We will now?
Yeah.
Motion. Resolution, we're just looking for a motion to approve the resolution to accept the updated opinion of council letter.
I approve myself. I'll second it.
All right, very good.
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Hatchard.
Great.
Okay, next item is resolution to approve updated financial projections plan.
Is that something that you have? Okay, good. This one I don't think I've received.
Okay. Somebody has, let me try to make a copy right quick.
Oh, there it is. Nope, that's not it. I don't think I got that one. That's good, got it. Is that? Is that this guy? Current billings from the email, okay.
All right.
Thanks, Alex. Thank you.
Mr. Lindsay, Martin worked on this. It's, one of the items that's requested in the letter from FTA, and we're responding. On the docs on the second page, next to the last item of the doc, says, updated financial plan demonstrating adequate revenues to maintain and operate transit service in accordance with the written contracts and agreements. And this basically shows the projected flow through September 30. And at the end, at the bottom, the last two, you'll note that those two are in red. And as we've indicated, there's some 440 something thousand that is still is due to us, that is being held up. And in the letter I read to them, I indicated that if they release those funds, that will cover that shortfall being rebalanced through the full year. And Oliver, do you want to add any additional comments there? Yes, you did. Thank you, sir. With that, the motion will be in order.
I make a motion that we accept the resolution to approve the updated financial projection plan.
Second.
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Hatchard.
Yes.
Okay. Last but not least, it is time to cancel our vehicle insurance with Obsidian and general liability. The form that I handed you is the form that I received today. We just have to decide we want to cancel it officially, and then it can be signed and sent right back over. Right, exactly. There's no need for it.
Resolution is in order. I mean, I understand what it is.
Yeah, we've talked about it a lot, so.
And no need for the print. All right, the motion is in order.
I make a motion that we cancel the Obsidian.
Is there a second?
Chair Little,
Yes?
Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Jackson,
Yes.
Trustee Hatchard.
All right.
And that's the last item. Why don't I, since we're all together, so make sure, like to just read the draft that I have here. March 31st, Kelly Brookings, Municipal Administration Union 5. In an effort to finalize our response to the requirements outlined in your February 6th letter, the Takata Board has taken the necessary actions and concluded with a board meeting acting on the items requiring board approval. Those items are being submitted as attachments to this letter. Takata has already taken the action necessary to resolve the concern regarding naming an interim executive director with whom you are familiar with special address. The Takata Board is herewith requesting that FTA lift the ECHO drawdown restriction and pay the draws that have been held up. The contract with VIA has been activated, and we are pleased to say that performance is exceptional, as expected. We are submitting also attached a projection through the end of September 2026, with the last 2 months showing a deficit that will be eliminated when the $443,605 already billed but not paid is released. This Takata Board will assure you that internal control standards will be met. First, Takata has taken the steps to ensure that the authorizing official in ECHO matches the approver of the draws, and documentation is included in the financial plan policies to reflect that. Takata has documented clear roles and responsibilities that reflect current practices and will be kept up to date as positions change. Updated policies and procedures that have been adopted by the Takata Board are attached. To demonstrate Takata's legal, financial, and technical capacity to be eligible to receive federal assistance as requested, Takata is providing the following. Takata's ECHO authorizing officials are Alexander Little Takata, Board Chairman, and Oliver Lindsay, Contractor. The Chairman and Mr. Lindsay are serving on a permanent basis. An updated organizational chart identifying the names of all key staff and their position roles in the implementation is current. They are actively serving in those roles at the present time. An updated signature authority resolution has been approved and submitted. Updated board approved authorizing resolution is attached. Updated opinion of council letter is attached. A copy of the updated policies and procedures document reflecting the segregation of duties and internal controls is attached. The updated financial plan demonstrated adequate revenues to maintain and operate transit service in accordance with written contract and agreements is attached. Hopefully, you will determine that Takata does possess the requisite internal controls under 2 CFR and 200.203 and recipient capacity to receive federal assistance under FTA's Master Agreement 34 and will release ECHO access. If there are any questions or concerns, please contact Alex Little, Takata Board Chairman at 269-204-2776 or at little@bhc.us. We thank you for your assistance, support, and cooperation. And we'll have this letter finalized, we'll put all of the attachments to it, get it off to them tomorrow, and see if we can get things moving from there. By email.
By email.
So they get it right away. And with that, I'd like for us to sign all of our documents here tonight, so we can have everything ready to go.
Okay.
And with that,
Public
citizen
comment.
comments? Citizen comments?
Anybody online? Okay.
Anything from any of the participants? Anybody online? Not a motion would be in order to adjourn.
I can't miss that motion.
Yeah.
I make the motion that we can.
There is a second.
I'll second it.
Chair Little, Trustee Robinson, yes. Trustee Jackson,
Yeah.
Trustee Hatchard.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
That's it.
Start signing.
Have a great rest of your night.
Thank you all very much.